Let me do my research because that is part of calculated risk. Um, I have 7 things to actually help you to know how to take calculated risk. One, define your goal or whatever event or situation you're going through that you feel like is something you have to calculate. Two, consider your risk tolerance, like how you were saying. What are you willing to lose? How much are you willing to lose? Because it is a gauge. Three, gather information. What will it take for you to overcome the risk that you're calculating? Four, assess the probability of the success. Is it grand? Is it large? Is it small? Is it worth? You know what I'm saying? Some things ain't even worth even entertaining. Five, consider the potential rewards. Six, identify potential drawbacks. And seven, consider alternatives. Alternatives, which are other benefits of calculated risk. And through all of that, when you're learning how to do. It's teaching you approach, right? Because you can't approach one thing here thinking it's gonna work there. Because there's different formulas that you may have two different math problems, but they still give you the same answer.
The B2S Podcast is brought to you by Motivated Apparel. Motivated Apparel, the premier gear for motivation. A brand that motivates, inspires, and empowers you to stay motivated while chasing your dreams. Head on over to www.shiftmotivations.com/shop motivated apparel and grab yourself some motivated apparel today.
Yo, what up, world? What it do? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blueprint to Success Podcast. Once again, Blueprint Nation, stand up. Hey, we're excited and delighted to be with you guys once again on tonight. Y'all know what it is. Hey, this your boy Mike Mariner, a.k.a. the Chef Motivator. Once again, joined together with my brothers on my left, your right, my brother from another mother. Y'all, Mr. Dumbo, Mr. Like Me, Mr. Throne Room. Y'all give it up for the homie, man. Give it up for Alexander Hall.
Blueprint Nation, what's up? What's going on?
A radio voice on.
Huh?
What's happening?
You already know, man. Trucking through the week.
Swerving and perving.
Man, I'm just doing more swerving than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's all good, though. You feel me?
Lord. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Just trucking through the week, man. Trying to come across some opportunities. Just getting to know who I am. And it's like, it's like the more you get closer to the Lord, then the more you get to know who you really are. And sometimes it's overwhelming when you start to see who you really are beyond, beneath the layers and who you done became over the years that you didn't know you became from the decisions that you made. You start dealing with the root or the consequences of those things. Like, look what this did to you, or look what that did to you. And now when you start to clean it up, it's very sensitive. And so it's getting to know who, because you got to go back to go forward, right? So getting to know who I am currently, so I can remove things and pick the cross up continuously and go where God want me to go. So it's I'm in a different space right now, but Throne Room is out right now. Produced by Dominic Cervico. It's a blessing to work with a producer like him. People around him, other videographers and photographers, creative kings up in Gainesville and Kenny Revival Records from out there in Ocala. And Even working with y'all, man, I learned a lot from with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So,
Put me in the booth, man. Put me in the booth.
once you dub, I already put you in there. You know what I'm saying?
He'll be back in there.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Sure, we gonna be due for another mixtape soon. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Shoot, I've been listening to the in my workouts, man, pumping the old ET mixtape. Well, I was like, but I forgot how good they be sliding. But yeah. Yes, sir, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know who this guy. Well, I don't know, because sometimes you just never know what you gonna get.
I need that hat though.
I'm telling you, man.
Y'all want the same colors?
He better be lucky. It's too big for my head with all that hair on his head.
Hey.
He might leave with a hat missing.
Hey.
Man, that walk
Won't
across
leave.
the camera. Said, what the world? Faith done prophesied me losing hair. That junk prophecy is coming to fruition.
I've been unblocked. Oh,
I rebuke you.
I'd be like the Matrix. I missed that word.
Hey,
Catch it.
I look. I said, "Oh Lord." I tried to fluff it. It worked.
You are not welcome here.
Jump crazy.
Go back.
Go in the back end when you come in from it.
What the heck I got going on? What are they? Neutrogena? I need whatever. I need some of that. GoFundMe. I need that. That jump crazy.
Oh man, that's funny. Hey, oh, that's funny.
More than mine.
But yeah, man, Blueprint Nation, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all give it up for Big Bad,
Big
What's
man.
it?
Big Dub,
Yeah,
Mr. I got it.
man.
If I ain't got it, I'm gonna go get it. Y'all give it up for Boy Wonder, man.
What's up, Blueprint?
You know what you gonna get, what?
You just don't know, man. You know.
Life was like a
was,
box of chocolate.
I've been you know how we've been attentive with listening to different things where you feel like people speak things into your life and it's like keeps becoming more prevalent everywhere you go. You ever thought about so I was like I've always thought about voice acting, but it's really hard to get into. Like even with what I use for the profile of one website I came across.
Them are like voiceovers?
Yeah, it's a real hard door to get into. It's like pretty much who you know type of deal. But you know, I just be myself, just be giving my different accents. Hello, how are you doing? Yes, you know the UK, and so gonna see how I could break that door down as well while doing the different various things I'm doing. So, and that I know that pays good too. Just once you get locked in with different projects, and so it's like with I got the free account, and then with the other accounts that you have when you invest into it, like they give you projects and leads beforehand before anybody else can look at and stuff like that. So, just kind of looking into that as well. Just exhausting all my gifts and just kind of moving forward with that. Still pushing the EP, Love and Loyalty, and also the Kingdom Builders compilation is coming out shortly, and the squad video is done. So once I get it with the final mix and master, I'll put it in your hands, and then you do what you do with it. But that boy did his thing on it. I ain't even gonna cap, brother. I said when he hit me up, I said, "You him." He started busting out laughing.
Y'all set a release date yet?
We have one. So just getting everything, all the final touches with all the rest of the records done, but we have a date in mind already, definitely.
good.
So we'll see how that pans out. You know, this has been the season of pivoting.
I know this all too well.
It has truly been a season of pivoting. So I just been allowing God to move how He needs everything to move and orchestrate, and not losing no cool, no steam. Just be like it is what it is, and just let the water roll off the duck back. So, um, and but it's been an interesting season, but yet a peaceful season. Very interesting, but just trying to stay alert and just like really kind of discern. So, but it's been good for the most part. Joining family, brothers, it's been really good, and just blessed to be on this side of the ground. You know what I mean? So just count my blessings and moving forward with everything that He's instilled and trusted me with. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yo.
How about me?
Man, I'm good, baby. I'm great.
The shift motivator.
Yeah, but good, man. I'm good. Great. No matter what happens in your life, you always got a choice. You can choose to wallow in your emotions, or you can dig deep and figure out how to come up. That's it. That's it.
And it's like,
The Bible says, there's a time for peace, there's a time for war. There's a time to be born, there's a time to die. There's a time to cry, there's a time to heal, there's a time for all that stuff. So the thing about it is just being who you're supposed to be in the moment. That's what it's about. So if you're dealing with something, you need to cry. Cry. If you're angry about something, find a way to get it out. Maybe go hit the gym, punching bag. Maybe go to the shooting range. See, a lot of times I think what happens is we feel like it ain't so much about suppressing your emotions. It's about controlling them and managing them in the right form and fashion. You know what I'm saying? So the Bible says be angry, but sin not. He ain't say you can't be angry. You know what I'm saying? But what are the repercussions of you being angry? You know what I'm saying? Are you operating from a spirit of anger where it's uncontrollable and you're going to react upon your emotions? Or are you able to, you're able to control it? Harness energy. Like I always tell the young people, you say you got to figure out how to harness your energy, man.
Yeah.
Like you're all over the place. Like energy is good. Well, no, energy is not good nor bad. It has to be harnessed. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it's used for. So, but it's life's all about choices, man. Like I said, and then that's why I say I don't want to be sensitive. That's why I'm hitting it this way, because a lot of times man, you got to get through. You got to keep. Yeah, that's true. But people ain't Superman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some people have a 3-day rule. Some people have a 3-minute rule. I'm gonna cry for 3 minutes and then well, how am I gonna get on to the next? Some people in 3 days. I remember I was watching. Got the guy's name on YouTube. He's a ex basketball player, and Walter Bond. That's his name. Dope. He real. If y'all haven't listened to it, check him out. Like he real dope. I met him through the electoral conference, and just awesome. Matter of fact, I shared a couple of his videos with some of the kids. They was going through some stuff, and I was like, "Go listen to this." And every last one of them that I sent it to, man, preach. Hey, man, I like that dude. And that was him. He was talking about he had a 3-day rule. He said, I'm going to cry. I'm going to get it out. I'm going to whatever. I got 3 days. After them 3 days, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So, and that just actually kind of ties into tonight's subject tonight. Actually talk about calculated risk, because it's all about choices, man. It's all about the choices that we make, because the choices that we make, the decisions that we make today determines the successes that we live out tomorrow. So if with that in mind, if that is the truth of the matter, then I have to be mindful of the decisions that I make today. And I think a lot of time what happens, especially where society is right now, people is not mindful of the decisions that they make. They just don't care.
Yeah.
You just don't. I was watching a video earlier, police on high-speed chase. I'm like, dude, really? You gonna you'll do a high speed chase in a Honda Civic? Yo, you ain't in no Hellcat.
That's a low speed.
You ain't in no, you know what I'm saying?
That's speed change.
You in the Honda Civic. You do it. You trying to get away from these guys in a Honda
You
Civic.
finna get pulled over and shot and handcuffed in the Honda Civic.
I'm like, you idiot. But it's like people just, it's just fight starting everywhere. Just don't care. So, got a, situation right now with somebody that's close to me. And, it's kind of tearing the family apart a little bit because the person or the family is making some bad choices that put them in a very bad situation. And that impacting the rest of the family in a very, very, bad way, but it's like, at what point do you care about the decisions that you make? And what I mean to the point of where is, and the reason I say that you care, because every decision that you make in your life is a reflection of something or someone and impacts something or someone. So the decision that you make doesn't just satisfy your appetite. Because once that is satisfied, guess what? You're going to want something else. So if the rabbit is constantly being moving, then at some point that means as an individual, you don't know who you are. Because a lot of times the decisions that are made are based on who you are. If you look at it, if you look at a lot of the successful people right now, right? Look at the Grant Cardones, the Robert Kiyosakis. Hey, I'm gonna throw it in there just for the heck of it. The Donald Trumps. You know what I'm saying? You throw them, they walk with a certain mentality. So the decisions that they make are based on the mentality that they operate from. You know, so and a lot of times, and I don't want to get it to the point where it's attached to what you have externally. It's attached to what you have internally. Because if I make a decision based upon what I see or what I envision, what you do and what you say does not matter. The only thing that matters is the vision that I entail, because I know who I am. I know that that's over there is waiting for me and it's mine, and I have the ability to access it. So guess what? I may have to take the long route, but at the end of the day, I just have to trust that God got my best interest at heart, and then I'm going to be better for it. Because I haven't studied it in so long. Because I remember, but when the Israelites was roaming the desert for 40 years, it was only a couple days journey. But I think if I remember correctly, there's a scripture in there that talks about had they went the shorter route, it would have been detrimental to them because it was something that they weren't prepared for. I think they might have got into a war with some other armies or something to that nature. Like I said, I hadn't read, because when I came across it some years ago, I was like, because that story unravels so much, because a lot of times we just talk about the wilderness and them walking around for 40 years, but then not looking at the intricate detail parts of it. So I'm just throwing this out there so that way you can go back and study it. But it talks about one of the reasons why they was also rerouted outside of them just being disobedient, stiff-necked, and all that type of stuff. It was some other things that played in the part of that. So just like I had been looking up the number 21, so there's some intricate parts. So when you study that number, the reason I'm studying it, because we're coming up on our 21-year anniversary. So I was just like, they're just sitting there and let's see what the significance of the number 21 is as it relates to what we've been getting word-wise and, atmosphere-wise and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, this is kind of right on spot. So, but then it was just talking about the different revelations behind the number 21 and the intricacies behind the number 21 and the stories behind 21. So it's like there's different facets of the story, but they all meet at the same place. So it's kind of like that story right there. There's different revelations behind that 40-year wilderness journey, but a lot of times we just focus on the 40-year wilderness journey and not the intricate parts of it, and that made it turn into a 40-year journey. So it's actually more than them just being disobedient and stiff-necked. There's a little bit more details in that. So all of that stuff goes into, once again, it goes into choices. So, as we get down into the meat, let's, before we start getting into the deep conversations of this, but I don't know. I know you was looking up some stuff, one earlier, but I'm gonna read this. Is what I got. I don't know if you came up with the same thing, but it says calculated risk. We're talking about calculated risk tonight. So it says it is a deliberate choice to take a chance with a known level of potential failure, but with the expectation that the potential reward or benefit outweighs the risk. And it says it involves carefully assessing the situation, weighing the pros and cons, and making an informed decision based on the estimated probabilities and potential outcomes. I like that.
That's good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ignite that bomb and see what y'all got to say about that.
There's a lot to unpack. I'll start off with saying I like the guy you was talking about that has the 3-day rule, because not only it gives you time to process, it gives you time to sit with it, and it gives you the opportunity not to wallow in it, meaning to go further and exceed in it than you need to. And I think that's a excellent way of dealing with certain situations that can use that, that formula, so to speak. There's another thing that I came across here when it comes to risk, like how you were saying, it just doesn't affect you. It's a trickle effect. And it's not just from person to person. It can also be generation to generation. And it could be futuristic when it comes to the path in your life and how you can better your situation and have better advances and leverages when it comes to business, whether it comes to whatever you're studying. Like it gives you an ample amount of ammo to be able to move in a manner without having more resistance than you would normally encounter. So I like this breakdown of it, right? This one has another good breakdown. It's called risk, which equals probability times impact. It says the probability refers to the likelihood or the chance of a risk or event occurring. It can be expressed as a percentage or a numerical value. So the sum total, if you got X amount of people, let's just say 100, then you got a fourth of that could be a percentage of, or 25%, that could be like, this crowd looks like they're going to exceed. They're going to do this because they're doing X, Y, and Z. Then you have the impact of that. What does that look like? It'll be a positive impact versus others who may not take advantage of the opportunities, or even they'll know how to take advantage of the opportunities. It just depends, because again, it goes back to environment too. There's so many factors to involve in for someone to what they have to fight through in order to even just make it out alive. We ain't even gonna talk about the success rate. Just trying to stay in your right mind, just trying to move, just trying to live day to day. And a lot of people, ask like, hey bro, how do you do what you do? How do you make it? Man, I just take it a day at a time. And then I conquer the day because I don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own issues and things. What can I do today that can put me in a better state than I was before? And then the impact on the breakdown of probability times impact. The impact represents the potential consequences or damage that could result if the risk or the event occurs. It could be measured in terms of financial loss, project delays, reputational damage, or other relevant metrics. And then you got the risk value. It could be multiplied. What's the probability of that? It can provide a risk value that indicates the overall risk level, whether it's higher, whether it's greater, or negative. So when you think about all of that, I think about where I came from. I think of what I could have been the probability of, the product of. I think about I could have had a lot of negative, a lot of negative experiences. I look at I could have there's choices that I realized I've made that I could have bettered. Doesn't make me any better. It just makes me wiser. I learned from what I did, the decisions that I made to get here, and what am I continuing to do and to break that. So I like when you said when you dig, what are you digging for? Like, what is the depth that you are willing to go to break out what you're trying to come out of? Where are you trying to go? Who are you trying to become? I'm trying to become the better version of myself. And I'm trying to help bring a percentage to where the risk is not such a detrimental, but you also have a risk that is worth going after. Well, and that's like change within the environment of the community, being an example, being a leader, being a pillar. Like, those are great risks that you're worthwhile, that you're willing to go after. But then you got other certain risks that brings endangerment, that brings negligence, that brings reputational damage. So calculated risk can be good and bad. What part of the risk are you willing to become? Are you willing to become the good portion of that calculated risk? Or are you willing to continue to spiral down the negative conversations, the negative images? How can we be better as a whole? And it just starts with us. It starts with calculating the risk. You be like, you know what? If I do this, the probability and the outcome ain't gonna be good. But if I do this, man, look what can come from that. And it can open this. It can open that. And it could be like a domino effect. So for me, I think calculated risk is it's dire. It's important to understand what it means. It's important to understand how to flow in it. It's important to know that your mentors can help you calculate the risk and let you know, hey, you should go this way. This is a better outcome. Look what can unfold from just this moment. Look what can unfold from what you can help for your kids, for your parents, your grandparents, you know what I'm saying, if they're still living. Like, when you think about sports, you think about when they go to the pros, what the first thing they want to do? They want to buy mamas a house. They want to buy this, that, third. But you still got to calculate that risk. It's a great thing. But sometimes you got to kind of be like, you know what? I'm going to eventually do this. But there's other factors and barriers that I haven't calculated yet that I have to make sure it's covered to be able to do this. Because I remember when you were saying that you go to different states when it comes to, they got to pay different taxes. And that's a lot of money. And you're traveling a lot. So don't mean to be long with it, but I think this is a great topic just for the understanding of us as individuals and how we can be better holistically and make better decisions ultimately. So
Yeah, that's good. I like that, man. Yeah, that's fact. Because anybody that has delved in any type of in depth of financial matters, you will know what I'm about to say. They tell you never invest more than you're willing to risk. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because it's risky. And then they always tell you the greater the risk, the greater the reward. So you have to calculate that. What am I willing to lose? You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to learn all this crypto and all this stuff there. So guess what I do? I'm not afraid to put no lump sum of money in there. No, I'm going to put what I can. If it tank tomorrow, I ain't finna lose no sleep while I'm trying to figure this thing out. And so what? So and I like how you broke that down to where the good and the bad and calculate the risk. That's true. And even going into that situation what I talked about with the financial matters with the athletes. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, dang, just like what we were talking about with Pop earlier today. It's like, man, America is a tax society. Like you taxed on everything. So you get that lump sum of money, you got to figure out some things first before you just start spending. A lot of time we don't, and I think that just comes from one is being undisciplined. Number one, and two, just kind of going through the motions and really not delving into things that really matter about life. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can't get to the point of thriving until you get through the point of surviving, which is what you just basically said. That's why I kind of went there, because a lot of time we like, man, I'm just trying to survive right now. I want to thrive, but I can't even see that right now. So it for that person that is really being honest with themselves, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a great place to be in, because what we always talk about, the first thing to solve a problem is always what? Acknowledgement. So I can't, man, you walking into a false narrative. You know what I'm saying? Faith and truth are two different things. Faith, yes, I believe those things that exist as if though they didn't. Yes, I believe I'm going to come out of it. But right now, all I can see is me surviving right now. So let me climb myself out of this hole, and then I can be able to see over the horizon. So, to those people that are thinking like that, that's it. Acknowledge that. Then now that you acknowledge the simple fact of this is where I am, and I'm just here. This is what it's okay. We've acknowledged that. Now, how do we get past that to go to step number 2? And what does that look like for you? Because it can be detrimental. Same thing. If I stay and I pitch my tent in the world of acknowledgement, you still in the same place. Because guess what? You haven't progressed. Yeah, I acknowledged it, but what's the progression point past this point?
Right.
Henceforth, Walter Bonds. I got 3 days to get over this. It is not saying you're going to completely get over it in 3 days, but you understand what we're talking about. You give yourself a limited amount of time, because what happens is you don't want to go down into it leading into depression. Then next thing you know, it goes down. You start spiraling down the rabbit hole almost to the point of no return. So that's why it's not like you're trying to be Superman, but it's certain points and tactics. You understand that God has laid out for us to be able to follow the blueprint in order to be successful in the purpose that He's created us for. Are you everybody? No, not everybody's going to be successful to the point to where they're going to be millionaires. Not everybody's going to have that opportunity. Not everybody, and what I mean, not everybody's going to have the opportunity is because don't everybody want that. So therefore, they turn away those opportunities that could bring that, because some of them can't handle the responsibility that comes along with that. And some people, they just cool with where they are. And so that's why you have to find your purpose. And that's why I made that statement. Sometimes, the decisions are based on who you are. Because if you're insecure, guess what's going to happen? You're going to make insecure decisions.
It's a common denominator.
You know what I'm saying? So, I was watching, I'll be watching the videos from the Funny Salesman. Like, when I watch that Joker videos, it's like, this Joker is heartless, dude. And I don't know if it's some of it scripted. And I don't think all of it's scripted. I think maybe some of it is. Like the one I watched last night was from the one that be running the apartment complex on the Wayne's Kids.
What's my boy name?
So
you got Chase, you got Wayne, you got Mike,
Bethany.
Bethany.
Yeah. So it was. I'm like, okay, now that's definitely scripted. But when he just be popping up on artists and entertainers, I don't think they're scripted. I think he be where they are, and they know who he. Some of them may know who he is, or either they give him the permission to approach him. But I'm listening to him, and especially like in some of them rough places, boy, he just boom, he just ran off so quick. It just hit you like, man, who is this crazy dude, man? Because I remember when he knocked on some door, like first thing they like, dude, do you know where you at? And he just rattling off, So, and I'm saying that to say this, like he's a person that reeks of confidence.
Yeah.
So guess what? His decisions are going to be based on confidence. Because the average person won't go into that neighborhood and go door to door and be a door to door salesman. But because of the person who he is and who he knows that he is, he's able to do it. So guess what? His decision is based off of, once again, what? His confidence. So a lot of times your decisions are based upon who you are. That's why it's very important for you to know who you are and what your purpose is. Because a lot of your decisions should be made according to that. Because if it's made outside of that, then you live in somebody else's life, and then you live in a lie, your very own life. Because you're trying to live the purpose that was given to somebody else. And you have to be willing to understand and accept the purpose that God has given you and be okay with it. And once again, if you're in that boat, like a lot of people are, you're still trying to find your way. Because guess what? I don't care what level of success that you are. there is something lacking in your life, and everybody's trying to get to a certain place. So even if, you know what I'm saying, you're making what you want to make, you're doing what you want to do, you're living what you want to, but still there's something that's going to come across your plate that's going to be bigger than what you can chew.
Yeah.
And you're going to need a little bit of help. Whether it's a big deal, big situation, big relationship, at the end of the day, everybody's, just because, and I like it in it's Robert Kiyosaki's, what's the book called? Cash Flow Quadrant.
Oh, it's fire.
Yeah, when he breaks down the different characteristics of the quadrant, the business owner, the self-employed, the investor. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm a successful business owner doesn't equate to me being a successful business investor. Two different personality traits, two different characteristics, two different skill sets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so at the end of the day, everybody is reaching. Even if you reached a certain level of success, there's always something else that a human mind is reaching for. And so, but once again, we got to build a sense of who we are in order so that our decisions can equate to the place that God has designed us to go. Because if not, we gonna exit stage left and find ourselves in nowhere land. You didn't have to make a U-turn.
Yeah. Jesus.
Be like, dog, you remember the toys we used to play with back in the day? You wind that sucker up and it just go, and if it bump into the wall, it just turn around, it just keep going. That's what we gonna be doing. Boom, and every day, bouncing from the wall to the chair.
Poppy like, okay. That's good because I remember having a moment and from a financial place, and mom was like, "Come on, let me show you. Where your checkbook?" You know what I'm saying? It's like when you go into something new that you've never experienced because it's something that you weren't ready for to be able to handle. You be like, "What I do with this?" So when I first started working at Velda Farms, this is when I shifted from Checkers to Velda Farms. Man, you talking about going from 580 to 980. That's a huge dollar jump, and then you get paid every week versus every 2 weeks. You go from barely even be able to pay for the car insurance to, man, I'm getting about 500 plus every week, and that's not including with the overtime and things of that nature. So I remember coming to her and I had all this money. I was just like, okay, what do I do with this? Because it's like it was foreign to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get so used to being accustomed to survival mode, to what you're accustomed to, where you feel like you'll never get out of it, you don't know how to transition properly. You don't know how to leverage what others are trying to help you to unlock. So she's like, let me show you chip. All right, we got X amount. Okay, put this amount in. Don't touch it. Just put it in your savings. Don't touch it. Put this whatever toward your bills. Have a little something for yourself. Do that week in, week out, week in, week out. And I prepared myself to where I didn't have a job for 3 years, but I had a nice nest egg. I had a nice nest egg, including my 401k. So when that ran out, I had to tap into my 401k a little bit. Just as that ran out, I'm back into this working cycle again. So it showed me through that little moment. I learned, okay, now I know how to prepare for the next phase of my life, because before I didn't know. I'm just like, what's this? Extra money, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, the average person be like, oh, I could get this, I can get that. But it was more so like there was something on the inside of me knew that I needed to do something with this money other than just spend it. And it's hard to acknowledge that or even to know what that is if you don't have people along the way helping you. And I learned from that moment, okay, I'm starting back to square one, but I know what to do. And that's how, when you think about millionaires or people who get rich, they get broke, they get rich again. They get broke. It's like, oh, I could just start from 0 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now
Like,
they done had the experience. Now they can go back and do it again.
exactly.
Yep.
And it helped me throughout the years conquer financially. So it's no different. You know what I'm saying? Like with calculated risk, like, what are you willing to lose, or what are you willing to invest to gain so you can get the leverage that you need? I really had to unlock that. Like it just unlocked it some more. So now, like you say, in investments, like how can my money make money for me, and I could just live off the interest. I ain't got to touch this ever. So it's just like now it's getting to a point of where you learn about high yield savings accounts. You learn about different type of trust funds, what you can set up for your children, just to make sure they have your P's and Q's and your T's crossed and your I's dotted. So when you leave here, your family and everybody's straight. Because that's what we're here to do. We're not only here to be purposeful and to live, but we're also to shift the trajectory and the leverage for your family, which is the most important part. So even with your story, bro, like even when your dad said, "Yo, you him," said like he knew you him.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. I went to. I went to tell him that his mom died. Because my stepmom called me from Fort Myers, like, like, you need to come down here and talk to your dad. And my dad was in Brandywine, and he was in the assisted living himself. So this was before he got like bedridden and couldn't move and stuff like that. So I came down and I was talking to him, and he had already knew something was up because all his brothers and stuff was calling him. And my aunties were calling him, but he wouldn't talk to nobody until he spoke with me. So I got down here and I was talking to him, and then he began to cry, and I'm crying with him. Then he just looking at me. My daddy had this long first finger. It jumped like this long. It jumped like a carrot. It's just like he had this long.
Cedric.
That's how I look, right? So he was just looking at me, bro, crying, and he was just like, "You the one," said, "You the one, you the one." He said, "You are the one, you the one," and I'm starting to believe that because of every piece of obstacle that's in front. Like it's like I'm my father's only child, right? And we talking about calculated risk. You have to break that word in two. Sometimes you got to break it down in two. Sometimes it's too much for a person to take the whole compound word. Let's bust it in half. Let's just stick with calculated. Let's, you know what I'm saying, like whatever word that you want to cling on to first, cling on to it. Some people have to cling on the risk first because they've been living a little risky. Some people have to cling on to calculated first. How competent are you? You know what I mean? How intelligent are you? How competent are you? How resilient are you? You know, like how steadfast are you? All those things has a big chunk to do with being calculated. How disciplined are you? How obedient are you? How are you with your sexual hunger? Everybody falls, right? I'm not talking about you falling and then repenting and going back. I'm talking about if you just out here hungry. You gotta conquer that thing. There's certain things you have to conquer and put on a leash so you can be calculated. You know what I mean? And certain things that you have to do so you can understand risk. Risk is not, you know what? When wealthy people, they use credit to manage to get wealth. A lot of a lot of our people, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just say a lot of people when you grew up how I grew up, which y'all grew up the same way. Your mom and them always talking about credit as a bad thing. It's because y'all used it in the incorrect manner.
Yeah.
Credit is not a bad thing. People have debt all the time, but
Right.
they got big debt, but they also got big money because they use that debt to leverage to get wealth. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to break that word down into two pieces, and my father he always told me that I'm starting to understand and believe that I am the one because of the stuff that I'm facing. My father had me when he had me, I think I was born when I was born when I was the age that I am now. So from that time on, that's when my father should have made certain adjustments, locked down on himself, tune out everything and lock down on himself. So now I'm looking, I'm at the same point where he should have did this and just locked in. And now everything is every string, every chain, every spot of emotion, and the enemy trying to use anyone to deter or to flick a wound or anything to stop from that to happening. And you just can't. I just can't because I done calculated the risk, and it's too risky for me not to go that way. No matter how much you hurt, no matter who I lose in the process, because the risk of me not becoming who I need to become is way more riskier than me coming who I need to become. If that make any type of sense. It's way more riskier for me not to step into who God's calling me to be, for me to step into who God's calling me to be. It's a lot of people who are not gonna have a chance if I don't step into who God's calling me to be. If I don't step into who God's calling me to be, my sons are not gonna have certain understanding of certain things. My woman is not gonna have whatever woman that deals with me, my woman. If I don't step into who I'm called to be, then she won't get this version of me that she deserves. It's something about being close to somebody who's worth something. It's something about being close to somebody who is polished. That's why certain people, once they level up, you can't get a hold to them. Because everybody can't be around that type of stuff. Because if you're not adding value, you're gonna leech. Right? And the only way, like, somebody gotta go. What the homie said, Benny the Butcher, he said his album, Everybody Can't Go. It's true. Everybody can't go. Somebody gotta go. He told Abraham to leave. You gotta go, bro. You gotta go. If Abraham didn't leave, a lot of stuff right now wouldn't be right now. Just think about it. Just think about it. If Moses didn't get kicked out and come back, a lot of stuff that's going on wouldn't be going on right now. Just think about it. Somebody got to do it. And the process of getting it done is sucky, but somebody got to do it. I was looking. We talking about calculated risk, bro. I was reading this last night in the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. I don't have that one with me today, but I got the King James version. This is the old Dusty. If you want that real deal, you gotta get that King James. You know what I'm saying? Luke chapter 14. I'm not gonna read it, but if you guys want to go back and study it yourself, Luke 14, verses 28 through 33. And Luke 14 is two main stories in that chapter. One story is about the king who was looking to go to war. I'm paraphrasing. The king looking to go to war, and if he didn't have what he needed, he would send someone to tell the other king, "Yo, I'm on chill mode." And then the other king who was ready to go to war would get, "Okay, you on chill mode." Because he didn't have what he needed to have to whatever. And the other story, is basically about if you're gonna build something, if you don't calculate the cost on what it's gonna take to get it built, then people will mock you and ridicule you and laugh at you because you didn't finish what you started. And it's another story in here too that's talking about that. We talking about calculated risk.
Yeah.
Looking at saying, what is it going to take for me to get it done? And how can I get it done? How competent am I to get it done? Do I know what I'm doing? Do I have the resources to get it done? Do I have the surroundings around me to push through it? You're trying to get married. Do you have the right people around you? Do you have godly men around you who been where you're going? Do you have godly women around you who been where you're going? Do you? All those things help, and they are factors on how great you're gonna come out on the other side. I've never seen anyone teach somebody how to ride a bike without them having ridden one first. When the last time you seen someone pushing a kid on a bicycle and they don't know how to ride a bike? If you don't get your behind away from my child, you ain't hitting and training well. You telling something? No, we can't do that. So having somebody who done it before you, it's potent when it comes to you coming out on the other side successful on whatever it is. And real quick, I ain't even trying to. This is like kind of hit me when y'all were talking. Dub, you had said something on the lines of, Mike, please correct me. Dub said something on the lines of, once you go broke, you know how to get it back. You know what I mean? You went through the motion because you went through the motion. And to be honest with you, a lot of people's fight is mental and emotional. So once you go through a trial and you come out on the other side, when something else arises again, you done been through that before. Yeah. So what do I need to do to buckle down? I feel low right now. What do I need to do to come out the slump? I'm talking to somebody who is, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm alone right now. I feel like this right now, like I'm just not there today right now, or my heart is broken right now, or my best friend ain't talking to me right now, or man, my homeboy turned his back on me right now, or man, my homegirl did something shady right now, or man, my boyfriend done cheated, or my girl done walked off, or I done been through that stuff before, so what do I need to do to buckle down and make sure I boost myself back up? That's why going through those things is powerful. Going through those things is powerful. So when you face those things, that's why you can't run from certain stuff. Because you have to calculate, if I don't go through this process, it's going to be real risky. Now I'm not going to be able to handle certain stuff emotionally. I'm not going to be able to handle certain stuff mentally. If I keep running from stuff, I'm not gonna be able to handle anything. It's risky when you're running away from things you're supposed to face. It's risky. Calculate the risk. We ain't talking about we just ain't talking about financially and career wise. Calculate the risk of you not facing your fears. When your child has something to face, what are you gonna tell them? You ran. What you gonna give them? When your daughter is interested in men, what are you gonna tell her? Oh, so you're gonna tell her you need to, but you didn't do it. What can you give her? So I'm at a place right now, I'm calculating the risk because I know my sons are gonna need something. And they're not gonna need no hot air, or you need to. Let me show you what I did. Let me show you what I did. Let me tell you what I felt. Let me tell you what I did. And maybe this can work for you. Try it. That's tangible. Not no hot air crap. Not no, you need to read your Bible and pray. No, you need to do that too.
I'm glad you said it.
For real. You need to do that too.
For real.
You need to do that too.
Say that again for the people in the back.
You need to do that too. It's real now. You can't, because you can't go. You need counseling, you need Jesus, and you need theology. You need the whole combination. So when you're dealing with things, when you're calculating risk, you have to You have to have an example of how to move. Jesus is the ultimate example on how to move. Period. Because he felt everything, he went through everything, and he been through everything. He's the only one who can heal it. You moving, all you're doing is moving through him. I can do all things through. That means on the inside. Him on the inside of me, and I'm on the inside of him. So you can't get to a point of healing if you don't move through. So you need the word and you need to put action behind it. You need both. You need to do that too.
Yeah.
Right? But if you not putting in no action, what are you going to give your child? What can you give your coworker? A week behind, oh, I'm so, they might want that. Give me something tangible. What are you going to give your husband? You ran from everything, so when he's low, you can't speak life into him. You can't speak life into your woman because you ain't got no gird in you, big dog. You ain't got no gird. You got some sex, but you ain't got no gird for her. You ain't got no covering for her. You ain't got no leadership for her. Not perfectism. No leadership for her. So we talking about calculating the cost, but calculating the risk is major. We can't be running off. We can't be half doing stuff. We can't be running away from obstacles. We can't do that. Calculate the risk. Look at what's in front of your face. Look at to see if you're not ready to make that jump and you know that's a part of where you're going, you need to start doing things to make sure one day I'm going to be able to make this jump. Calculate the risk. Put off the jump and work on the calculation. When you're ready, now let's work on the risk. That makes sense, right?
Bro, that made total sense. It's funny. You never know what a person will share with you and how they tie into what we talk about. So I was talking with a colleague last night at work. And he was telling me how him and his daughter went to Island of Adventures and they went on this one roller coaster ride, right? She's been talking about it all week. His daughter's been from the month up, the whole month, the time that they playing, excited, just daddy-daughter day, right?
Yeah.
And they finally get to the ride. She's like, oh, no, we don't have to ride it. We don't have to ride it. And he was like, he looked at her. He's like, and he wasn't, you know what I'm saying? He gave enough to make her think, but he was gentle enough to comfort. So he was like, okay, well, since you don't want to ride it, it's fine. But I don't want to hear nothing about this ride the whole way, the whole day. I don't want this to be brought back up ever again, okay? She's like, she just sat down. She was calculating. Calculating, do I want to go the whole day knowing that my father would be disappointed in me for not having the courage to do what I talked about all month? Or do I just calculate the risk and just be like, you know what? So she ponders. She's like, no, we can do it. He's like, you sure? Yeah. So they go on the ride. They went on the ride twice. And it shows you that once you conquer something and you calculate the risk or what her risk was like, man, I don't want to go through the entire day knowing I let my dad down because I talked this up like I'm a big girl. But then I ran with my tail tucked between my legs.
Yeah.
So she rated like, nah, I can't go through life like that. And for her to jump on that and they rode the ride twice, not only she conquered the fear, resilience prepares you for other avenues or what you have yet to face that you don't know if you even got the courage or the guard to face it. Because you're like, hold on, wait a minute. It's different, but it's the same. Because I still have to move forward. I still have to calculate. I still have to. No, I can't go out like this, big dog. I can't go out like this, big dog.
Yeah, for sure.
And you do it afraid anyway. I can't tell you, and I'm sure Seth can attest and you can attest, how many times we went to big, small, medium-sized crowds and boy, our heart is like on the flow, but once we just step on that stage, it's just like something just, and you just go all in.
Yeah, that's how I be.
Yeah, that's exactly how it be.
You know what I'm saying?
You got 1,000 things going through your head before you get it.
What? Lord, don't let me forget my words. Don't let me forget my. You don't rehearse to practice, but it's like, Lord, just the moment though. You trying not to overthink,
Right.
but resilience helps that out, especially when you facing new territory. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I face this back here. Okay. Let me go. Let me do my research, because that is part of calculated risk. I have 7 things to actually help you to know how to take calculated risk. 1, define your goal, or whatever event or situation you're going through that you feel like is something you have to calculate. 2, consider your risk tolerance, like how you were saying. What are you willing to lose? How much are you willing to lose? Because it is a gauge. 3, gather information. What will it take for you to overcome the risk that you're calculating? 4, assess the probability of the success. Is it grand? Is it large? Is it small? Is it worth? You know what I'm saying? Some things ain't even worth even entertaining. 5, consider the potential rewards. 6, identify potential drawbacks. And 7, consider alternatives. Alternatives, which are other benefits of calculated risk. And through all of that, when you're learning how to do. It's teaching you approach, right? Because you can't approach one thing here thinking it's going to work there, because there's different formulas that you may have 2 different math problems, but they still give you the same answer. But there's still different steps according to each problem. So approaching it with confidence and demonstrating that you can trust your ability to succeed. A lot of us don't trust ourselves. Even when you put in the work, even when you grinded it out, even the long blood, sweat, and tears, the nights, the crying on the floor, like it's like we've accustomed and grown to getting approval of man validating what we've been working on for years. It's like you don't really need that validation.
You don't, because I don't mean to.
No, you good.
Yeah. So the other day, right? Other day I'm in prayer, come out of prayer, so I'm just like, just moving throughout the day. And I felt the impression of the Lord tell me, leave everyone. Next day, leave everyone. So if you look in Luke 14, above the 28th verse, that's when Jesus talks about, if you don't hate mother, we don't hate father, we don't hate wife, all those, you don't pick up your cross, you're not, paraphrasing, suitable to be my disciple, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But he's talking about turning away from everything. So when he said leave everyone, you gotta leave everyone's opinion about you. You gotta leave everyone's stipulation they placed on you. You gotta leave everything that anyone has spoken over you that's not true. You gotta leave everything that you have said about yourself there. And the one thing that hit me the realest, just to be vulnerable, coming directly from the house, even the want of somebody else's love for you, you might want them to love you, you want them to like you, you want them to embrace you, you have to leave that there and put all that stuff on Jesus and follow him. A person only picks up their cross and leaves everything when they build up enough trust to do so in him.
Yeah.
That's when it happens. The disciples had one thing in common. Even though they all came from different backgrounds and dealt with different things, they all had different hands that was the card split on the table. Some of them had trumps, some of them had a couple aces, some of them had like one spade, right? But they all had one thing in common. They all came to a certain point in their lives to where they built up enough trust in Jesus to like, you know what? Now I can pick up my cross and leave everyone and follow you.
The B2S Podcast is brought to you by No Grind, No Glory Apparel, R828 edition. It's a reminder to stay strong, to be courageous, to starve your fears, and to feed your faith. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart, just know that you were born to stand out and make an impact. Head over exclusively to www.nogrindnoglory.net and grab you some merch as a daily reminder that all things work together.
That's the one thing. So when you build up that trust so you can leave everyone, you want him to love you. You want him to tell you, I love you back. Leave that and follow him. You want her to embrace you. You want her to spend time with you. I want her to love me. Leave that and follow him. Leave what you think your teacher think about your grades. Leave what you think your coach think about you. Leave that and follow. Leave everything. That only happens when you build that trust up. Just enough trust, but like, you know what, God, I'm ready. Because nothing else is doing it.
At all.
Nothing does it. So that validation that you're talking about, humans have it bad.
Yeah.
And a cure for that is you picking up your cross. That's the only thing that fills any voids, that pulls up any root problems, daddy issues, mama issues. Sometimes you might be like the Apostle Paul. Sometimes you might have the thorn in your side. But once you pick up your cross and follow him, Jesus helps you deal with that thorn. Mm-hmm. That thorn becomes the key to the ignition of what triggers you to run. Mm-hmm. That thorn becomes the fuel of what he made you to be and what he made you to speak and how you're gonna help people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that validation from other people, that want from other people, the clapping that we want from from the crowds, the love that we want from the women, the love the embracing and the care that women want to be cared, bro. Women just want to be cared about, man. Mm-hmm. And when a woman is mishandled early, when a woman is mishandled early by a man, they grow up not knowing how to really care for men. Mm-hmm. So when you loving a woman, they looking at you like you the woman because they got attributes of a man because they had to be, because they wasn't cared for one. Mm-hmm. So that validation is real big. Mm-hmm. And that thing only gets cured, quote unquote. It's when you do pick your cross up and follow him. Mm-hmm. When you build that trust up just enough. I mean, I ain't mean to go there, but that trigger, you know what I mean? That trigger.
Because you won't hang on to things that you were dwelling from the past on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people I'm cool with that we ain't got no issues. We don't talk like that. So that trust, that picking up my cross, is like me not in my feelings or boo-hoo or why they don't call or why they don't ever, you know what I'm saying? It's like you understand where you are in the season in their life and you understand the respect where they are in the season and they are in their lives. Mm-hmm. So it took me every bit of 3 to 4 years to kind of break that. Because there's a certain level of expectation that you have for a person that they don't even know is there. Mm-hmm. But that's because of what you conjured up in your mind and what you thought about yourself. And then once you wash that, once you reprogram your brain, your thought process, you're going to live in. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's hard to live when you're stuck back there. It's hard to be present when you're stuck back there. Mm-hmm. It's hard to even be available for your children, your family, your loved ones, but you're still back there. Mm-hmm. So-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. It's just like, okay, they did it. They don't even know they did it because you never expressed that. So it's like we get stuck in our own walls of imagination sometimes. And sometimes that don't even be the actual story, in a sense. On some cases. Some cases, you just know people just be like, you know what? Yeah, that's a mental note. We on two different pages. God bless you. I see you. It's our love, but we on two different pages. And you have to, and that's just being mature about it. You know, a lot of times we mishandle situations for the fear of missing out. But what's your calculated risk? Your self dignity. You're going behind somebody. You not being your ultimate self and trusting in who you are and what you've become and all the work that you've done.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yeah.
Because if a person doesn't trust who they are, there's a reason why they don't trust who they are. And so when since we're talking about calculated risk, which is a reflection of your decision making. So how does one get to the point where they trust their decisions? Yeah.
Based off the
Because you got to look at everything is centered around a choice. So if somebody is in that what we just stated, what got them there? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I do.
So I didn't want to just curtail by that, because that you gotta, you know what I'm saying? That's big. What you said, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Because if all right, let's go. I'm gonna go to the church.
I was gonna tell you, Kyle.
I'm finna say something too.
And I'm gonna bring it back.
I'm finna say something too.
What about the
What got them there?
what got them?
Okay. I'm all right.
Okay, I can
Because
Yeah.
it's all right. Just like one thing I love about like pastor, like, and I know there's a lot of pastors, but pastors, like, we don't have a lot of guest speakers at our church, and because we don't gravitate to everything.
Right.
So it is not saying that everybody. It's a lot of fluff out there, and we ain't about no fluff. If it ain't about, and we ain't perfect, but so goes the head, so goes the body. You know what I'm saying? The intentionality of trying to live a life of righteousness, purity,
Right.
and knowing who you are, knowing your identity as a son. You know, there's a difference between a son and a child, and I don't have enough time to go into that tonight.
Right.
But the maturity level that it takes you to walk on, which all ties back to even what we're talking about, identity and knowing who you are, right? So, but there's a trust level factor. So that means if there's somebody in that pulpit, that means there's a trust level factor. There are some decisions that were made that allow me to see I can trust this guy, or I can trust this woman. It allowed me to see that. But if my decision making keep putting me in a position where, man, I don't trust you, dog, then you can't get mad at the individual. So now it's what you have to do is put yourself in a position, and like you said, we got to go look past the past, because that's what's going to happen. Because every time you move forward, people going to try to dig up them dead bones.
Yep.
So you got to be able to move past people digging up them dead bones, because they always, and the pastor always talked about, he said, ain't it funny how they always reference Simon the leper as Simon the leper, and he was healed from leprosy? Because the people always trying to dig up them dead bones. Like, he ain't Simon, he just Simon. But we continually refer to him as Simon the leper. You know what I'm saying? So but I just had to throw that. So I'm going to let y'all go ahead.
No, that was good.
Good thing.
I know for me it was insecurity. Through years of what I went through in the industry, and then certain situations personally that I saw the loss in value of how they viewed me. Meaning that I felt like they're really losing value in me. Like they don't see me valuable anymore. Because you know that when they start moving funny. You know that when there's certain situations where, you know, I know because you got a family. Things, that trajectory shift, I get that. But when it's to a point where you're like this and then you move funny, and then you don't treat me the same, that drawed insecurities. And doesn't mean it's right to pick those things up, because now you have to learn how to combat that, because that doesn't make that statement true as far as you having to take that up and carry it with you. it's just a mixture of that, insecurities, lack of confidence in myself, is being real transparent. And when you have all that combination of stuff, and then you see stuff for what it is, and it is that, it really messes with your mental because you never thought that person would do that to you or treat you in that manner because you esteem them high in regard in your life, but they don't extend that same high regard. So for me, that's what caused me to make those same decisions. Then as I started gravitating doing the work, like I was just saying, when I went to like the Dove Awards, like what 2-3 years ago, when I was like, bro, this is the first time I felt like I could walk in a room with confidence. That was huge for me. And it wasn't just from an industry point, it was also personal. Because a lot of the industry flowed in over into the personal. Because you cannot say that you don't feel any kind of way of the things that goes on within the industry, that it's not going to leave a residue or some type of stench from it. And for me, knowing, understanding those insecurities that I picked up, which caused more or less of lack of confidence, unknown direction, I had to go back to his word. I had to go back in prayer. I had to like really rebuild myself back up and get to a point where if you're in my life, cool. If you're not in my life, cool. I know who is and I know who values me as I value them. So it's like you say, it really is a confidence barrier. It really is a trust barrier. Because it's like, God, what am I doing wrong that I keep going through this same situation? And when you can say that, that's like when you're willing to really go past, like when you say the fluff. Now you can really see what you didn't see before. Because now you're out of your emotions. You're out of how you're feeling. You're out of like what are assumptions. Now you can actually state what's factual. You can actually see what's factual. So for me, it was a lot of insecurity within both personal and industry. And so, and finally being able to be free, it being okay with who's ever in my life and who's not, I still move forward. I still progress. I still become confident in the things and areas that God needs me to focus on. That will bring the right people. That will have that same high regard and value as a person in me. And so that's what for me personally. It's just I knew from insecure decision makings and lack of support industry wise.
So what I'm hearing is you made certain decisions off clouded judgment. Because you said you referenced insecurities. So did you make all your decisions based upon that led you into certain places that you shouldn't have been? Or so yeah, you see what I'm going. So how did so that I and the people can understand what we're putting out there. So for you from your side, your insecurities led to what? Because you got to understand this is what we got to start hitting bullet points.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about calculated risk and decision making, so what type of decisions did my insecurities put me in a place to where I made certain decisions?
When you move like that, you make emotional decisions. You know what I'm saying? So emotional decisions are those things. It's that same.
I guess my CJ coming out.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. So those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those emotional decisions are decisions that you build on sand and not concrete. You know what I mean? So you start making decisions. They're cloudy, and they're not strong decisions.
Right.
You know, and basically, and those type of decisions are decisions that's based upon you clinging to somebody else or clinging to what they think about you, what he think about you, what she think about you. You know what I mean? You making decisions based upon your feelings instead of based upon where you need to be at.
Right.
That's when that's what happens when you make decisions out of insecurities because you're trying to fill a void that you can't.
Dr. Hall.
Straight like that. Nail on the hammer. Hammer on the nail.
And because I've done that before. So I'm at a place where now to where I don't do that anymore. Thank you, God. And I think a lot of that had to do with when I came here one glorious Saturday afternoon.
When he came around the corner and run the back.
When I came to the front. And then
The
Pastor Alex
church
is in the
doors are open. Get on the floor.
Next thing you know, I'm on the
Get him
floor.
on the floor. Get him on the floor.
I'm on the floor shaking with a sheet on me. They almost gave me a pillow. But yeah, so a lot of that a lot of that came, and I was down there for like 10, 15.
Yeah.
God was dealing with me down there. God was dealing with me, bro. Faith was over there, and that night I was going through deliverance of things. You know how they say the word says when you pray, Holy Spirit, your murmurs, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was things that I couldn't even discuss with myself that was being delivered that night and that day, and all for me offering myself because I knew something had to go.
Yeah.
And so I don't make, and I advise that like people who I don't know why I've been going here, but people who need deliverance from stuff, you ain't gotta just offer yourself and be like, God, this something gotta go.
Yeah.
And he will, some things he would deal with.
Mm-hmm.
He would deal with those things if you offer it to him.
Yeah.
Right. So go ahead.
And you said a mouthful. Because a lot of times we're asking God to take stuff away. Because certain things he'll take away, but certain things he wants you to offer up.
You gotta
I want
offer
you to
it
give it to me.
You gotta give it
Yeah.
to him.
Mm-hmm.
You can't try to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta cough it up and give it to him, even if you don't know what to say to him.
Mm-hmm.
You may not even know what's the problem. God, something is wrong. You gotta, long as you keep coming, he gonna keep taking bit by bit. And the more open you are, God is a gentleman. He will not just do something he wants. Because it's like I said before, from creator to creation, it's automatic trust.
Yeah.
Automatic trust. Remember what he asked Adam in the garden. He said, Adam, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't talking about GPS location. He was talking about intimacy, close in proximity. I don't feel the closest no more. I don't feel you close to me no more because I never left.
Exactly.
Right? So I try not to make decisions based upon that. But when you have wounds and they're not healed properly and they're healing and something happens and you hit that spot again, that's when that's me.
Mm-hmm.
When the wound is healing and the same wound in the same spot get hit from a different direction, but you still have to move and you still have to grow.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my decision making and how I move gets like that, because I get I don't get paranoid, but my emotional intelligence is real sensitive, and my emotions are real sensitive, and they be on 10.
Mm-hmm.
They be on 10, so I be having the extra time alone just to make sure I don't bleed on nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, just to make sure I don't bleed on nobody, and just to make sure I can comprehend what you need from me at a high capacity. Just to make sure that you know what, I can't give you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and knowing that about myself and knowing those things about you, that's awesome. So you know how to maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start to calculate. That's a part of calculation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to dive into that. And that was good. That was good because it's like I always say, you can't make an informed decision off partial information.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying. Because if you don't have all the details, then you're making a decision off false pretenses. So I ask a lot of questions, and that I was sharing. Matter of fact, I was sharing with Pastor because like me and Pastor Lynn kind of think alike in certain areas because she's very inquisitive. I say that's right because I have like, man, y'all forgive me. Like if I'm asking a lot of questions, I don't want you to seem like I said, but that's just how my mind works. Because if you say, well, we're gonna do this, you do that. I was like, okay. So my mind already thinking past what you just said.
Yeah.
So okay, well, how did we think about this? Or what happens when this? And that's just my mind. And
But that's a good thing because one is sharpening the other person to
you know
what I'm saying? It makes them familiar with what they didn't even think or to know to even, consider those type of thoughts and questions and insight.
Yeah, because to some people it rubs them the wrong way because they're thinking you don't trust. It's like it ain't got nothing to do with it. It's just how I process. So, but then what happens is, and I think this is where teamwork comes into the place, building relationships and stuff like that. I think people hinder themselves when they don't realize how they operate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because that and that was powerful more than in what we think. Because if you don't know how you operate, you don't know how to maneuver, and then you'll find yourself in traps, and then you'll find yourself ensnared in a cycle. And now you're having to learn how to break a cycle that you didn't even know that existed because you were unaware of your operation. So like me, I know for me, it's like I have to decide to walk into a place when I get frustrated because incident like okay, had to go get a tire for Isha. So woke up, tire flat. Okay, I got the little thing at the house. I'll pump the tire up, say go straight to Walmart. Just tell your boss you're gonna be late this morning. So okay, so we get there. She kind of flustered because she can't get no answer from nobody, and I'm like, okay, so now I'm already on 10 because my wife frustrated. I don't even know what really happened because she can't even explain it. They telling me one thing, he telling me something else, But I'm like, okay. So once I go in there and find out the story, I'm already on 10. So it's like now I got to back it back because they don't put her car in the bay when they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Because they saw, okay, well, she's a feed lady, she was there with, by herself, whatever. So she's like, yeah, your wife is really not, yeah, but y'all aggravating the crap out of me right now. I said, well, the only problem I got, she didn't really, I said, because she needs to know, I said, because I got to drive 30 minutes across town to take her to work. And I don't want to take her to work. And then y'all are going to be done at 45 minutes. So I done spent 30 minutes driving across town.
Just to come back.
Just to come back for 15 minutes. And they still was all over the place. And then the one dude, I don't know if he was a man, but he looked like a manager. So I'm trying to explain some stuff, and he trying to overtalk me. Like, God ain't through with me yet. So I'm like, he's over. I'm like, you're not even listening to what I'm saying. So, because they're going back. It's like, it's just crazy. So it's like, he never even, so he just left. I'm like, good, you gone. So the other dude came back. So I was like, I said, listen, I ain't trying to be hard. I said, but you just got to understand, we got some decisions that we got to make. And I can't make a decision when you're telling one thing and another one person is telling another. How you expect me to make it? I got other decisions that I got to make other than you just put a tire on my car right now. You know what I'm saying? So
Trickle effect.
It's the domino effect is thousands. It's something going on right now. It is too early for this. It's too early to got no morning for this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? But I was not fit to allow them because had I allowed them to keep me in my frustration, I'd have just, hey, just get in the car. Let me go drop you off. And then I'd been getting a phone call 15 minutes later. Hey, your car ready.
That'll make you even more mad.
So and then I'm like, first of all, y'all don't even do your job. I said, because he come back with it. He said there ain't nothing wrong with the tire. How there's nothing wrong with the tire? The tire was flat, which is the reason why I'm here. Then we take it to the other place across town, same place. across town. Oh, such and such. Well, them idiots over there couldn't figure. But you're trying to get me to make a decision off partial information. So you have to be like when I study successful people, like you gotta study like how they move, why they move, they make certain decisions. So now it's like you have to put yourself in a gauntlet, so to speak.
Yes.
You have to put yourself in a gauntlet in order to train what traits that you have in you that's keeping you from places that you desire to be because of the decisions that you made in the past. So now I got to hurt myself. You got to be like that eagle that went through 35 years of its life and has 35 more because the eagle's lifespan is 70 years. But usually halfway through the lifespan, the beak ain't no good no more, the claws ain't no good no more, the feathers are heavy, so it can't fly. So either I'm gonna die because my claws ain't strong enough now for me to pick up the fish and the prey for me to eat. My beak ain't, you know what I'm saying? My feathers are too heavy. Now I gotta make a choice.
Yeah.
I gotta make a choice. Do I wanna die or do I wanna live? Pivot. So if the eagle says, I want to live, so the eagles go through 100, I said this before, go through a 150-day process, go to a high mountain, isolate itself for 150 days, go through the grueling process of plucking out its nails, waiting for it to grow back so it can pluck the feathers out because they ain't no good no more. Pluck the beak, beat his beak against the rock because it ain't no good no more. Now it's 150 days to go through this grueling process just to live the rest of the remainder of my life. Do you want to live the remainder of your life to reach your full potential, or you want to stay stuck? That's the choice that you got to make right now. Because in order to dig up the dead bones, the old ways that you used to think, the old things that you used to do, in order to dig up those dead bones, you're going to have to make the choice to put yourself in a situation like the eagle. You're going to have to put yourself in harm's way just to get over on the other side. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But when you look at, I was looking at, I said, I'm going to have to do a study one day. But when I was looking at the animal kingdom, the snake shed their skin for new skin.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I was something else. I don't remember what it was, but it was something else. It was another animal that goes through another grueling process in order for transformation to take place. Mm-hmm. And so you just looking at all these things. Look at the caterpillar. Just go to the caterpillar. It's eating the whole time on the ground because there's a season that I can't eat no more because I'm going to be up in the tree wrapped in the cocoon. And so what I've eaten all this time has to be enough to sustain me to where I'm going in order to go through the transformation. That's powerful, dog.
That is. Talking about the level of preparation.
Bro, when you talk about greatness, bro, when I listen to people like E.T., like a Jeremy Anderson, like a Inky Johnson, like guys that I highly look up to, Les Brown, Kareem Ellis. You understand what I'm saying? When I look at them guys, bro, they can regurgitate something that's just out of, cause in them. I can go to a place and you can give me, and I don't say this arrogantly, but I can go to, cause I get called on a lot of time for last minute stuff, dog. Mm-hmm. And because it's in me, I done ate so much. So when I go into an atmosphere and God do your thing, it's God do your thing. Boom, it drops something, boom. Okay, boom, let's go. That's when you want to be great, surround yourself with greatness and watch what happens.
Never lie.
Watch what happens. The stuff that they do gonna start rubbing off on you. Mm-hmm. And then now you can pick and choose what fits you and what don't, just like a wardrobe. Tailor-made, baby. You just, man, this fit nice. Okay, yo. Now I don't want cuffs on my pants. No, I want them straight. Bro, I used to when I used to get my suits taken up, like if I saw a suit up at Nick's and I have them tailored. So a lot of times I'm hey, what do y'all think? Cuffs or no cuffs? So I'm not in the style like that. Right. And then it had got to the point where, because I used to didn't like cuffs. Then it got to the point where it was like, man, them need to be cuffed. So it's like, okay. But now it became, because I surrounded myself around people that in the design, they expertise. Oh, yeah. So now guess what? Now those traits become, oh man, yeah.
Part of you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And there's a level of trust that you gave them that, have at it.
Yeah.
Well, what, you know what I'm saying? The only thing that'll come out, well, nah, I ain't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what
but
I'm
it's
saying?
like, oh,
Yeah.
look at this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's man, we unpacked a whole lot tonight. We unpacked a whole lot tonight. But you have to treat your life as a priority. So many times we put other people's scenarios, lives, and make them a priority over our own self. Not saying that you can't be in a relationship, spend time.
But you can't
But
lose yourself in the process of that.
Exactly.
You just can't.
Yeah.
I used to do that. It's dangerous, man.
Yeah, that is. You lose.
I used to do that, bro. It's highly dangerous. I was with a person. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my son to life and back, my oldest son. But I spent the wrong time, and when I shouldn't have been there. But got lost in the sauce. Allowed someone to take out their emotional distress on me, like emotional punching bag. So you get those blows, you get those wounds that they have, and you shouldn't have, because at the time I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to put my foot down as a man. I didn't know what to stand on. So that actually set me back. This is why it's not about being perfect. It's about being present. You know what I mean? Like, that equally yoked thing is serious.
Yeah.
That's a serious thing. Y'all ain't got to be perfect. Y'all got to be present together and want to go in the same direction. And I was like 18, 19 years old. Those are the beginning stages of getting to know. It's when the time you need to start getting to know who you are. So when you in a situation to where you're supposed to be getting to know who you are, but someone doesn't know who they are, and they are pouring that stuff on you, so you're giving them what you have. You're giving them what you have, but you don't even know who you are fully yet. And they taking whatever that you got and pouring it out.
Yeah.
So it's like a setback. You know what I mean? It's a setback. So, yeah, I've been through that before, bro. So it's and it takes years. I'm just not getting to the place where I'm building up certain things, even from then, and even my relationship now, with the woman that I have now. She has a past. I have a past, and you have to make sure that you go in those places and dig those things up without stabbing each other with each other's skeletons. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I said I'm at the place, and I don't mean to regurgitate it, but I think a lot of people out there to where I'm just in that spot to where you have wounds and you have to guard yourself. And you have to be real about things. You know what I mean? You got to be real about things. And you can't allow certain things because something can hit that same wound. Now you have to, the healing process is longer.
Yeah.
And you have to set yourself aside so you can heal properly. So you don't bleed on other people, so you can be at the point to where you can be used to a situation. So you can speak from a healed place and not a battered place. So you can speak from a fixed lens and not a broken eye lens.
That's good.
Yeah. So I've been there before, bro. So to anybody who need to take that time for themselves, take the time for yourself. Go back in that graveyard and dig that stuff up. Find somebody trustworthy that'll go with you, that'll help you dig that stuff up. And don't be like, girl, you did that. I didn't ask you, are you going to help me or not? Are you going to stand in here with me or not?
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. That's good. It's good. Once again, man, we had a great combo, man. Unpack some tools, man. Some insight. As you go through the second half of the year because we're just, we're basically midway through the year right now.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
So,
For sure.
yeah, I don't know how we like to do, man. As y'all, move through the second half of the year, before you make those decisions, man, calculate the risk. Calculate the risk involved. What if you don't make the choice to go through? What if you make the choice to walk away from something that God is telling you to walk away from that is profitable right now in the moment, but he's telling you, I need you to walk away from this because I'm finna take you to a place that's greater. Mm-hmm. But he don't tell you that. He's just telling you to walk away. Just like he said, bro, he said, just leave everybody. That's all he said. You know what I'm saying? But what if he just tell you one thing? You just got to do. So at the end of the day, man, you got to learn how to make proper decisions that benefit you and your purpose and the things that God have you do for the purpose that he created you for. So y'all know how we like to leave up out here with that being said. Shoot for the top because the bottom is way too crowded. And if you think different and be different, you have the opportunity to live different. And once again, we'll see you on the other side of Success Blueprint Nation. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.